Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy.
You are listening to Phantasm Podcast.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad.
Ryan is back from the Black Dahlia murder.
Tom Gabriel Warrior. Derek Green from Simple Tour.
Ross Dolan from Immolation.
This is Anthony Michael.
We are Gorgasm.
Ismail from Creator.
This is RBC of Body Count.
Terrence from Suffocation.
Phantasm Podcast.
Join your host Corey Gorchrist and Dr. Vincent West for exclusive interviews with the sickest bands in metal and more. Head over to cultoffphantasm.com, the only gravesite for all things horror and death metal. No filler, all killer.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Hey, this is Dr. Vincent West, medical doctor with the Phantasm Podcast. My next guest needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one because I love this guy, man. Rob Barrett from Cannibal Corpse. What's up, man?
Oh, how's it going, Vincent?
Pretty good.
Having me on. Hello, everybody.
Hey, thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And, of course, Cannibal's new album is coming out April 16th through Metal Blade, Violence Unimagined. And I'm ready to just jump right into this thing with you, man. Let's start with track one, Murderous Rampage. What can you tell us about that opening track?
Well, that's the first track on the record, and that one, I wrote the music to that one, and I asked Paul to write the lyrics because he was writing all the lyrics for all the music that Pat was writing, and now that he's not with us, I decided that I wanted to keep Paul's lyric writing intact, so I asked him if he could write lyrics to that song. And it worked out well. It ended up being the opening track, and it's a pretty straightforward song. You know, nothing too technical about it. It's just a straightforward ripper, I think.
Yeah, it's a hell of a way to kick off the album. I love the title, too. Classic Cannibal Corpse. You can't go wrong with that. And let's see, track two, Necrogenic Resurrection.
Yep, that's a Webster song that he wrote, and that's like I think it's one of the catchiest songs out of the bunch, and that's why we ended up having it second in the order. And it's a really interesting song riff-wise. I think as a bass player, he writes a lot of his stuff sounding like a guitar player. It's pretty wild. So it's always exciting when he comes up with new stuff because he always makes it interesting. It's never like the same every time around. And it's an exciting song. I think it's got some really good riffs in it.
Oh, yeah, it's killer, man. Real catchy. And let's see, track three, Inhumane Harvest.
Yeah, well, that's the first song that we just released last week, and that one I wrote the music and lyrics for, and that one, it just came together really quick, and fortunately, it ended up being one of the catchier songs out of the bunch. I think everybody decided that as well, so
right.
That's why we ended up decided to release that one first.
And what can you tell us about that one lyrically?
Well, that one's about this underground organ trade that's going on in the, kind of in the underground crime scene.
Right.
And I just thought it was an interesting story to write about, because it's something real that's happening that a lot of people probably don't realize is happening probably on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah. It's
or sometimes getting abducted and then they wake up missing a kidney or something.
It's terrifying, actually.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't have to make stuff up. Like, the scary stuff is actually really happening right there in front of you. You just don't really see it unless you look.
Right, exactly. And let's see, track 4, Condemnation Contagion.
Yep, that's an Eric Rakan track. He wrote the music and lyrics to that one. And he's just bringing the whole new element to the sound of the band, music-wise, because he obviously has his own style. And I think he just did a great job of, when he started writing the music, you know, we weren't really sure how it was going to sound in the context of Cannibal Corpse, but
sure.
I think he really did a good job, like, being able to make it sound like Cannibal Corpse, but it still sounds like Rakan at the same time. So I think it's working out well, and hopefully everybody will agree. I'm sure everybody won't, but you know, you can't win everybody over in one day.
Man, you guys couldn't have picked a greater dude. I think producer-wise, he's the Scott Burns of now, you know, production-wise. I love him. He's a beast guitar-wise, you know, obviously Morbid Angel, Hate Eternal. You guys are you and him are the best duo in death metal as far as I'm concerned now, Rob.
Oh man, well, I appreciate that. That's really cool of you to say that, because I've been looking up to Eric as a guitar player for years. He's just really has his own, it's just a melodic style, but it still fits in with death metal so well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It makes everything that much catchier to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's just been a great friend of all of ours since back in the Ripping Corpse days. We've known him since, you know, 80, 89, somewhere around there.
Right.
So,
yeah,
he's definitely not like he's the new guy at all.
No, it's a perfect fit for you guys. I can't applaud you guys enough for that. I love him. But yeah, man, and you guys, you're all do it. Now, real quick before we jump to track 5, can you talk a little bit about, did you guys duel off on this guitar-wise on this record? Is the record mainly you, or like recording-wise, or how did that work?
No, well, we just took the approach of, you know, whoever wrote the song tracks both of the guitars. That's just the best way that it goes.
Oh, nice.
That way for years. Yeah, whoever writes the song will track the guitar, and then in the case of Alex's songs, we just split up his songs to where, you know, well, Eric ended up doing 3 of his songs. I was supposed to do 2 of them, and he was going to do 2.
Uh-huh.
But then there was some parts in one of Alex's tracks where I was just like, hey, you know what, I just think that it would probably sound better if you just tracked it.
Okay.
I'm not like one of these like alpha male kind of guitar players, like, oh, well, I need to play everything, whatever.
Right.
Like, I know Eric is an exceptional guitar player as a rhythm guitar player and a lead player, so I knew that it probably would have ended up coming out better if I just stepped back and let him track the song, and
sure.
Yeah, it came out great.
Best tandem in death metal, I'm telling you. I'm going to keep saying that throughout this interview. You guys do. I'm so thrilled about the lineup. It's amazing.
Great.
Yeah, let's see. Track 5, Surround, Kill, Devour.
Yep, that's a Webster song, music and lyrics, and yeah, it's a different approach. Like, since he moved, like, he doesn't live here in Tampa area anymore. Like, since he moved to the other side of the country.
Okay.
Years ago, like, he'll end up, you know, just sending us his songs after he finishes them. And yeah, when he sent this one, I was just like, wow, man, this is just a really crazy song. Like, there's so much fast down picking in the middle part. Like, so it just, I knew as soon as I heard it, I asked Eric, well, you're going to track this one. It was just obvious, like, you know, Eric was, you know, he has the stronger down picks than I do. So I just, you know, passed that one on to him, obviously. He did a great job. It sounds so tight.
Oh, it's excellent, excellent, excellent stuff. Let's see, track 6, Ritual Annihilation.
And now that's another Eric song. He ended up writing 3 songs, music and lyrics, And yeah, this one is, I think this is probably the most Cannibal one that he wrote out of the three that he wrote. Like, it just all came together for him. Like he said, this one just all fell together pretty quickly. And I love the break in the middle, just that slow riff in the middle part. It's
nice. And when you guys, is it fun having him in the band and also being producer as well? Do you like that?
Oh yeah, it's just like, it's always positive vibes from him, you know. We're always like getting along great. There's no, you know, negativity going on with him. He's always in a good mood. Even when stuff's going bad for him, like he's professional enough to just keep things positive, you know. Like,
right.
We've recorded with him back, you know, in the past where like something in his personal life's going badly, and like he keeps positive, and he's just focused on the work that he has to do. That's really professional.
It's incredible. It's awesome.
Yeah, and he's just always fun to be around. We're always joking around and laughing and keeping things fresh.
That's great, man. And yeah, and Ritual Annihilation's a killer track, man. But yeah, that one definitely, finding out now that that's a Rutan track, but it's definitely Cannibal, you know, that one.
Yeah, and that's like what I'm really impressed about, because I didn't really know at first, like, is everything that is he gonna write stuff that sounds like Hate Eternal?
Right.
Like, it just sounds like Cannibal. I mean, I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, Paul's playing drums on it, and that really makes a lot of the stuff have that Cannibal identity, because he has a unique style.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of puts that Cannibal stamp on things with his drumming.
Absolutely. Every time. Love it. Let's see. Track 7, Follow the Blood.
That one is the last one, music-wise, out of the 4 songs that I wrote, and that one just came together because I just really wanted to write a slower song that just had this sludgy riff.
Sure.
Like the second riff in the song.
Yeah.
It's just really sludgy and has this weird bending part to it, and I was like, man, I want to use this riff somehow. So I intentionally wrote that song just to really try and take it somewhere else and make it sound different than the rest of the stuff.
It's really cool. I like that one.
Coming out really good, and everybody else loved the song too. I think we might end up playing that one live, as far as, you know, from what the other guys are saying. Nice. Yeah, that's a killer one, man. I like the music to that one. It's different. I like it. Yeah, especially like with the solo that Eric does in it is probably one of my favorite ones.
Nice. Yeah, it's like I said, you guys are the tandem now. It's just ridiculous. It's the new blueprint. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we've moved on to this, you know, it's just kind of like a new phase of the sound of Cannibal. I think we're just incorporating some more melodic stuff, especially lead-wise, but, you know, we're still doing the heavy shit. We're just combining this new element that wasn't in the earlier stuff, like the melodic element.
Sure. It's fantastic, man. It really is.
I don't think it takes away at all. I think it adds just more catchiness and more memorable stuff.
Yeah, man, more depth. It's beautiful. Love it. Let's see, track 8, and this is probably my favorite title off the album, Bound and Burned. It's great.
Yeah, that's actually the first one that I wrote out of the bunch that I wrote, and that one came together pretty quickly because I was stockpiling riffs for months before we even started, you know, working on songs. Like, Paul and I will get together in the room, and I'll just start showing him riffs that I'm trying to put together, and then we work on arranging the song together, which is, you know, it's more, I think it has Paul more invested in the songs when I have him being part of the arrangement.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, like it seems like he's just more invested in it when I'm sending them a whole song complete already. So yeah, this one came together pretty quickly because I had all the riffs. We just had to work on the arrangement, and yeah, this one is kind of one of my favorites personally, just because I purposely wanted to have this whole middle section where it's like one line of singing and then a quick solo and then another line of singing and then, you know, going back and forth from singing to soloing. And that middle section is really cool in that way.
Oh yeah, man! That one's nasty. I like that one, man, a lot. That track is it's good. Yeah, let's see. Track 9, Slowly Sawn.
That's another Alex song, music and lyrics, which there's some slick riffs in that one too. I ended up tracking that one, and I just like the weird how he'll start a song with a somewhat normal riff, and then it'll go somewhere into the strange off time thing.
Yep.
Like, you know, he'll take you on a little roller coaster ride with the timings of stuff, and it always makes sense in the end after I, you know, learn how the riffs go. But when I first hear it, I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird, and then it just starts making more sense to me after I learn the part. Like, oh wow, this totally makes sense together now. So yeah, that's just a really interesting song riff-wise, and some cool timings going on with the drums and stuff.
Yeah, I love you can tell it's Alex's so crazy sounding, you know, like, but man, lyrically that one's got to be over the top. I was like, I love the title, it's great.
Yeah, I know George had a fun time singing that one because, you know, we were just kind of laughing about how he'd throw in words really quick and, you know, slowly, he would just say it, like, really quickly after each other, and we were like, man, that's crazy.
It's great.
Yeah, it's just interesting seeing how differently each of us write music and lyrics, but it all comes together under one flag of Cannibal Corpse.
It's incredible. It really is incredible. This record is one of the best records y'all done. I love it. I really do. Let's see, track 10, Over Torture.
Over Torture, that's Eric's song that he wrote. That's one of the three that he wrote music and lyrics to. I believe that might have been the very first one that he wrote, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
And, Jesus, that one's just like a savage, straight-ahead bruiser, you know, not really that long of a song. Because I remember when he sent it to us and I first listened to it, I was like, wow, this is over the top, crazy heavy. And I was just thinking, wow, man, you know what? He could have actually, like, made the song a bit longer because it sounded a little short to me at first.
Right.
But he was like, but bro, that's the way I want it. he just wanted it straight in your face, in and out. And I was like, wow, that's cool, because that's, you know, what Old Cannibals was all about.
Oh, yeah, it's like getting hit in the face with a bat.
Short, quick songs.
Oh, it's great, man. That one's definitely old school. That's a very standout track. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's a bruiser for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Is that one you're all talking about playing live, maybe?
Well, actually, we were talking about doing Condemnation Contagion.
Oh hell yeah, hell yes, that would be great. That would be great. But yeah, this record's so good. Let's see, and then the final track, track 11, and I think I'm saying this right. Cerements, is that right? Of the Flayed.
Yep, Cerements of the Flayed, and that's one of Alex's as well. And I'd say that was probably like his most unique one out of the batch of his 4 that he wrote. Because it's just very different than the other 3 songs that he wrote, which is good because especially having, you know, 3 guys writing, it really makes for some variety, you know, like, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of other people that are going to disagree and say it all sounds the same to them. But of course, that's what a lot of people think about death metal in general.
Sure. People that don't get it.
It shows a lot of variety. Like, it's just, you can tell that it's not just one person writing everything. And that's like a good, strong point that we have of having, 3 different guys writing music.
Oh, absolutely. And Alex's stuff always has its stamp, just like your stuff does. And then, with Eric coming in now, and his stuff obviously has got its own stamp. I love it, man. A lot of variety on the record, and it's still Cannibal, and it's nastier than ever, man. This record is one of the nastiest things you guys have done. I love it. I'm telling you.
That's great. I mean, that's what I think it's really something that we could pride ourselves on when, like, most people could actually pick out, like, who wrote what stuff after a certain point. Like, I think people are getting to understand everybody's different writing style, and, they could actually figure out, oh, yeah, he wrote this one, he probably wrote this one. They get it wrong sometimes, but, hey, at least they're trying.
Exactly. And, man, the cover art, wow. I can't say enough about the cover art. Your all's cover art's always, so catchy and awesome and nuts. And the new cover art, man, it's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's Vince. We've stuck with him for the whole time since day one, and I just, on that front, we don't really think that we need to change to something else, because everything that he's done has been so good that I just think it would be a mistake to have somebody else do the artwork at this point,
Absolutely.
To the game, we should just stick with him.
Absolutely, man. And he always does such a great job. It's always so exciting when you guys put out a new record to see what he's come up with. And this time he really knocked it out of there. I love it. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely wanted to have some, there's been some album covers where it's been hit or miss, where we're like, oh man, it's not quite exactly what we were going for, like, maybe not as graphic as we would have liked it,
Sure.
A lot of fans complained about that, like, oh man, it's not brutal enough, they're fucking getting tame or whatever. And it's like, when you have an artist, making a painting for you, as soon as it's done, you can't, like, erase the canvas and ask him to start over again.
Right.
I mean, sometimes there's not enough time to ask him to do something else. Like, sometimes we just have to go with what he came up with, just because of deadlines and whatnot.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a few of the album covers that, I wasn't personally 100% like, oh man, this is perfect, this is great. That's why it's hit or miss, same with the music. It's either, you satisfy yourself or you're stuck trying to satisfy everybody else.
Absolutely. Well, man,
this one, he definitely knocked it out of the park. Because we were like, you know what, I mean, with that title, Violence Unimagined, we have to, let's just go brutal and make it as graphic as possible.
It's great.
The uncensored version, obviously, because we knew we were going to need one, seeing the uncensored one.
Right. It's great.
We were just like, well, obviously, some stores ain't going to want to sell that.
Right. And that's back to classic Cannibal stuff.
It's not like, yeah, we're used to that anyway, obviously. So we were like, well, you better paint a censored version.
I haven't got to see the censored one. I always buy both copies, especially back in the day, like Gallery of Suicide or Tomb of the Mute. I always like to have the censored CD too, just to have the different cover. I loved all that stuff, so.
Yeah, and that's what makes it great is, like, if we can't use the uncensored one everywhere, then, you have the choice of two. So. Right,
which is.
It makes for more variety.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's great. And then, obviously, talk about this real quick if you don't care. Like, pending pandemic, I'm sure you guys are wanting to get back out there on the road. You guys are a touring machine. Can you talk a little bit about, like, what you hope, to happen with that? Obviously, this whole thing's been a fucking shit show, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, our plan was to start touring again, like, before all this COVID stuff started shutting everything down.
Right.
Our game plan back to when we stopped touring in November 19 was, all right, we'll stay at home, write a new record, record it, and then hopefully
Right.
this year before, you know, the albums are going to be old by the time we start touring.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I hate.
We're just like waiting to figure out when we could actually get back out there. So we're just sitting here, you know, with our hands tied behind our backs, really.
Right. Yeah, and I hate that for all the bands out there. It sucks, you know, because it's just been a nightmare. But it's just, you know, obviously for people just mentally and everything else. But it's just been a grind. I can't imagine what it's been like, you know, as a recording artist. You can't tour, you can't perform. You know, it's really annoying. So.
Yeah, this is something that we've never had to deal with before. Because as you know, we're always on the road if we're not
Sure.
at home writing or recording. Like we want to be out there as much as we can.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. Well, you guys have knocked it out of the park with Violence Unimagined, and that comes out April 16th from Metal Blade Records. Rob, I cannot thank you enough, man, and I'm telling you, you and Eric are the new guitar death metal tandem. I'm telling you, guys are, I'm blown away. It's unreal.
Well, I appreciate that. That's like really awesome compliment, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody out there. Thanks so much for sticking with us.
Hell yeah, man. It's good stuff. And the album is fucking unreal. Tell the other guys it's killer. I love Eric and the band. Thank you so much for doing this, and we will see you out there on the road, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Vince. I appreciate it as well.
Brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right. Hopefully we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Take care, man.
Twisted, criminal, underground. Stuck against another victim for complete control. Breathing, vital, body parts. Surgical precision taken on the movie soul. Strong line of a right down the chest.